Is it irrational to be a Christian? You know, there are all kinds of discourse out there, ideas that are not always rational, but that are repeated and repeated. And there are so many people who seem convinced that being a Christian is irrational. You know, I have said a few weeks ago that we have to admit that we cannot know everything. I still believe it, and therefore, I do not claim to have the answer to every question. But I do know enough to be assured of some things and to navigate in life. What I want to explore with you in the following weeks is why I can believe in God, why I can believe in Jesus, why I can believe in the scriptures. And today we are going to look at why I can believe in God the Creator. I would like to start with a fable that you may all know. It's the fable of the emperor's new clothes. So there was this emperor who loved everything that was fancy and liked to look intelligent. And one day, a man arrived at the palace. He said that he was a tailor. He said that he could make the fanciest clothes in the land. But really, this man was a dishonest man. He earned his money by fooling rich people. The tailor brought the emperor 10 suitcases. Your most majestic and intelligent majesty, he said, I am here to show you my marvelous new discovery. Everyone knows that you are the most intelligent man in the world, and I have created some amazing new clothes. These clothes are only for intelligent people. In fact, stupid people cannot even see those clothes. And he goes on and he shows the emperor his new clothes. But you could see there was nothing there. He just played with this idea that only intelligent people are able to see the clothes. Stupid people cannot see them at all. And of course, the emperor was worried because he did not see anything. But he brought his counselors in. And after hearing that only stupid people would not see the clothes, everybody had the same reaction. They could not see the clothes, but everybody was pretending to see them. And the story went on, and the emperor even went on a parade to show his people his new clothes. And it's a little kid that said, hey, the emperor has no clothes at all. And everybody realized that nobody was seeing clothes, and everybody felt stupid. Anyways, so once I was in Cégep, and I don't know how the subject came out, but one of my friends said with a laugh, science proved that God does not exist. At the time, I had no answer at all, and I did not argue. But I was wondering in my mind, when did science ever prove that God does not exist? The funny thing is that I was then starting a philosophy class, and for a year and a half, the program of that philosophy class was bringing us into a step-by-step logical proof of the existence of God. So today, we are going to see quickly why I believe that I can be assured that there is a God that created the universe. I'm not going to go into the subject of why I believe Christianity is true. We're going to leave this for another message. I'm going to talk about why I believe that science shows us that there is a God. So, imagine yourself with someone else, okay? And you come into a place and you see some wagons going on a rail. Just like those wagons. And your friend is observing the wagons, and he says, oh, wow, that's interesting. You know, this wagon is pulled by this other wagon, which is pulled by this other wagon. And it just goes infinitely like that. And you realize at that moment that this person you're with does not believe that there's a locomotive in the beginning. But of course, it doesn't make sense. You know that the train, those old wagons, cannot go forward without a locomotive in front. And I have a nice video of a locomotive too. In fact, that's the one that was pulling those wagons. But of course, that would not make sense. Now, we are in this situation, okay? I exist because my parents had a baby, okay? It was me. And they existed because their parents had a baby. So everybody exists because someone else initiated something, someone else created them, okay? Someone else, yeah. And everything that you see around you, you know, I showed you this. Somebody made this. I have a mouse here. Somebody made it. It was made in a factory somewhere. Everything is made by something else. Okay. Now, the old all of the things that were created, okay, they need at the beginning something that was not created to come into existence, okay? Because if everything that has been created by something, it cannot go infinitely like that. In the beginning, there must be something that initiated that, something that did not need anything else to create it, okay? So that's the logical thing that they showed us in my philosophy class. It proves that there is something that was not created, okay? But at this point, it could even be just matter. Matter. Because in fact, if you believe in evolution, you believe that there were always some matter somewhere, okay? And that something got built out of it at one point. But speaking of that, what about the first, if you look at the living things, okay, humans, animals, vegetables, everything that is living, okay, they are all made of cells. And if you believe in evolution, you believe that everything started with one cell. Now, this cell, a cell is a very complex thing, okay? If a cell, what a cell has to do to be considered living, it has to move, it has to reproduce itself, it has to respond to external stimuli, it has to feed itself, to do some excretion, to breathe, it has to grow. There's a lot that has to happen. And to be able to live, in fact, a cell has inside the equivalent of organs inside. And among those organs, there's this nucleus that tells all other parts what to do and all the genetic information. It's just incredibly complex. It's more complex than your cell phone, than your computer, than anything that you have in hand. It's really complex. And that would have to appear just like that in the universe, out of stuff that's around. And yeah, how did it get there? What is the cause of this first cell? How did it come to exist? There's this movement that is called intelligent design, okay? If you go to Wikipedia, you'll see it defined as a pseudoscience. In fact, you will even read that it's not science at all. It's the opposite of science. And here is why I told you this fable of the emperor's new clothes, okay? This is what I think about people that think that intelligent design is not science, okay? It's what I think, okay? Oh, only stupid people believe that. And in fact, you look at the real arguments, and there is nothing. Nothing, okay? If you climb a mountain and you see a pile of rocks, you will conclude that someone came and put those rocks together, one on top of the other. Okay, you will not believe that, I don't know, something exploded somewhere, and they all came like that, just by, randomly. You will not believe it, okay, because you're intelligent. But the first cell is immensely more complex than that. And you cannot, I cannot believe that it came into existence in existence just like that. I really believe that there had to be somebody intelligent to make it, okay, if the world came by evolution. Because what I believe is that evolution would need God, but God does not need evolution, okay? That's what I believe, okay? Now, Richard Dawkins is an English ethologist, an evolutionary biologist, and an author. He was a professor in Oxford, and he is an outspoken atheist and likes to criticize creationism and intelligent design. And he wrote a book in 2006 named The God Delusion, where he says that a supernatural creator almost certainly does not exist, and that religious faith is a delusion. He often makes public appearances to make his voice heard. And there's this Jew named Bernstein that made a documentary called Expelled, No Intelligence Allowed, where he wanted to just show that, wow, the intelligent design movement is always put aside, but who has the real answer to the question that they are raising? So he interviewed Richard Dawkins and asked him, okay, how did it start? And let's hear his response. So...
Well, then who did create the heavens and the earth?
Why do you use the word who? You see, you immediately beg the question by using the word who.
Well, then how did it get created?
Well, by a very slow process.
Well, how did it start?
Nobody knows how it started. We know the kind of event that it must have been. We know the sort of event that must have happened for the origin of life.
And what was that?
It was the origin of the first self-replicating molecule.
Right, and how did that happen?
I told you we don't know.
So you have no idea how it started?
No, nor has anybody.
Nor has anyone else. What do you think is the possibility that intelligent design might turn out to be the answer to some issues in genetics or in evolution?
It could come about in the following way. It could be that at some earlier time, somewhere in the universe, a civilization evolved by probably some kind of Darwinian means to a very, very high level of technology and designed a form of life that they seeded onto perhaps this planet. Now, that is a possibility and an intriguing possibility. And I suppose it's possible that you might find evidence for that if you look at the details of biochemistry, molecular biology. You might find a signature of some sort of designer.
Wait a second. Richard Dawkins thought intelligent design might be a legitimate pursuit?
And that designer could well be a higher intelligence from elsewhere in the universe. Well, but that higher intelligence would itself have had to have come about by some explicable or ultimately explicable process. It couldn't have just jumped into existence spontaneously. That's the point.
So Professor Dawkins was not against intelligent design, just certain types of designers, such as God.
Wow, there's a lot to say about what just Richard Dawkins just said. First, okay, if there's someone that should have an answer to that question, okay, it would be this man. Okay, he wrote a book called The God Delusion, trying to show how science shows that God does not exist, okay? But he should have an answer to that question. And as you can see, okay, oh no, intelligent design is something that is only for stupid people. Okay, but how did the first cell get created? Nobody knows, okay? Oh, it could be some higher intelligence from elsewhere in the universe, but that came out by some other Darwinian ways. And you can see here that what he does here is he just puts another wagon in front of the wagons. How did they come into existence then? Okay, it's not a solution. So really, they have no argument. There is nothing there. Nothing. So it's not irrational at all to think that there is a God creator. In fact, it is, in my opinion, very irrational to believe that there is none. Okay? So that's it for today. So Lord, I just thank you. I just thank you for being our creator, for putting us into this planet. And I do believe that you did put us there for a reason, that you do have a plan for us. And I thank you that you chose to speak to us. And yes, we're going to see in the next week why I believe that you spoke through Jesus, that you spoke through the Bible. But yes, Lord, thank you for your revelation, and our desire is to follow you. In your name, O Jesus. Amen.